Today we're going to be talking about conductivity, voltage drops, using a meter properly, bullshit videos from other people, okay? And I'm going to include a link in the description below, and I need you to go to that link right now to watch while watching the rest of this video, okay? For all my subscribers out there, right, who follow what I'm saying, what I teach you guys, okay, I need you to do something for me. At any time you watch a video where somebody says one of the best, one of the hardest hitting, something like that, okay, I need you to pause, give it a thumbs down, unsubscribe, and move on, because this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. All right, there's a reason why people talk that way, and that's how you catch it immediately. When the guy says, "Oh, it's one of the best, it's one of the hardest hitting," or whatever, okay, he's afraid to offend the item he's reviewing. He's afraid to offend other items that he might be reviewing in the future. Okay? There is no premise behind why you're saying that this is one of the blah or something. Okay? You're just saying in some filler noise to make it sound nice. Under what grounds is this one of the hardest hitting as compared to what? Tell me. What is the numbers? What is the, you know what I mean? You don't have it. There's a reason why he doesn't have it and he just moves on. You'll notice that in a lot of videos. This is one of the hardest hitting mods. Okay, moving on. What are you talking about? Shut up. Let me teach you guys how this stuff works. Okay, how it really works, the real story behind it. This is a tankometer. Okay, you don't need one, but as a reviewer, as a teacher, you need one, right? Why? Because this proves right from wrong, real from fiction, okay? How do you use these things? Well, when you stick a battery in a mod, you pop this on top and you fire the button. All it does is tell you how much juice is left in here. So if it's on a full charge, it should read 4.2, 4.19, 4.18, something like that, okay? Then, in order to test how well the mod is working, you have to put it under load, meaning you have to take an atomizer, connect it to the other end, and then fire the button. Before you do these things, you have to make sure that all the contacts are clean, okay? Whether it's the firing button at the bottom or it's the firing pin up top. Make sure that they are clean first, because I've seen videos where, you know, the guy got some ridiculous number. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's struggling, and the numbers are all wrong. He uploads the video anyways, and it was just ridiculous what was happening. So make sure your pins are clean before you do this. Now, when people walk into stores and then they talk about, you know, the voltage drop on a battery mod, okay, they always say, yeah, this is, you know, there's only like a 0.4 drop or like a 0.6 drop, or like, they don't know what they're talking about. They're full of shit. All right, I'll tell you why. Because when you put an atomizer with the tankometer, with the battery, fire it, and then the result that you get different results depending on the resistance of the atomizer. Okay, if the atomizer is of, you know, like 2.6, okay, higher numbers, then the load, the stress on the battery is not that hard. So let's say a battery, you know, fully charged for 4.2, we put a 2.6 atomizer on it. Okay, the result you're going to get is like, you know, 4.08, resulting in like a 0.12 drop. Okay, if you go ahead and put in a 0.7 atomizer, something very hot, very, you know, sub-ohm, right? Then you fired it again, easily you're going to get 3.65 or something like that. So now it becomes a 0.55 drop. So if a person goes like, oh yeah, that one's a 0.55 drop, and that's what, under what atomizer were you using? So you can't talk to the shop owner, all right? And you can't talk, you have to set your own personal benchmarks, right, with items that you currently own, or items that you're trying to compare one to the other with, okay? So you need to bring your own tankometer, you need to bring your own atomizers, know what the resistance of your own atomizers are, bring your own batteries so that like you know it's fully charged, blah, 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 all these things, and then start popping them in and then, you know, doing this experiment, okay? Once you start doing this, I guarantee you, half the time, the guy, the shop owner, he's going to be standing there like, what's going on, okay? Why? Because most people don't understand how to do this properly. Sad. All right, now, 2 grand vapor mods in my hand, okay? This is the M16. This is the SS Private. What is the difference? This one's the real one. This one's the fake one. Okay, this one's the clone, H cigar. I ran the test, used multiple different kinds of atomizers, fully charged battery, tankometer, back and forth, constantly. It took me about 20 minutes of screwing and unscrewing just to prove a point. The result that I got for both of them was the same readouts, constantly the same readouts. Why? Because they actually use the same exact kind of context. And that's when the link to the description is most important. Check it out right now. It says over here, okay, the conductivity of different metals: silver, copper, gold, aluminum, nickel, zinc, brass. It goes down the list of which one is more conductive than the other. The item here, okay, the M16, this is silver-plated copper. That's what the pins are. The ones from H cigar, okay, are pure silver contacts for the top and the bottom. Pure silver isn't that great actually, because pure silver is soft, so there's a lot of scratches, a lot of warping, a lot of, you know, it changes. It's not that great. Copper is much harder of a metal, so silver-plated copper, you know, over time, it's the better item in here, okay? But the point is, both mods are still relatively new, and the results that I got were exactly the same. Surprisingly, all right, on my Nemesis actually got a lower result. What is the reason? The reason is because the Nemesis that I have in my hand, okay, it uses a different material for the firing pin, that's all. And then it's going to result in a different kind of voltage drop. Here's the thing about voltage drops that everybody needs to understand. Don't get all sad if you end up with a battery mod where the voltage drop is, you know, a little less than somebody else's. Okay, why? Because you could always rebuild your atomizer a little bit lower to compensate for the difference so that it would still hit equally as hard. Having better contacts and stuff like that, all it means is that, like, you know, the atomizer that I built, if I use this tube over this tube, this one would hit harder. But there is such a thing as the atomizer is hitting too hard, to the point where, you know, now it's an uncomfortable vape. It's too hot, it's too harsh. You see what I'm saying? So the purpose of vaping, right, is for us to satisfy our need from smoking. We're trying to indulge in something. We're trying to enjoy something. It's not about, like, you know, who's got the bigger cloud, who's got the harsher flavor. It's about finding what is most enjoyable to yourself. That's what we're really trying to do, okay? And to compare, you know, vaping in any other way, that's just childish, and it's just really silly, right? It's not about like who's got the bigger mod, who's got the, it's about who's like enjoying it more, because this is what it's really about, right? Okay, so now that you understand these things, okay, you got to watch out for the videos that is teaching people the wrong stuff. You know what I mean? And I hope some of you, you know, will actually stand up for it. Like, leave, you know, comments below. Be like, under what grounds are you saying that this is like the hardest hitting mod? What are you talking about? You can't just claim something and then run away from it. I watched the video the other day of the M16 Grand Vapor. Okay, and there was a kid on it who was talking about how great it is. I really recommend it, blah, 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 whatever. But then he goes on to add how it's his first mod. So basically, you know, Yeah, you're right. It is a very good item, but you don't know why it's a very good item, and I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what makes you feel as if like you could just go out there and then tell everybody that it's fucking awesome. You don't know why it's awesome though. I don't know. I'll never understand it. Anyways, so now you guys, when you go out and then you make your purchase on your battery tubes, okay, the dimensions, what it's made of, use the link in the description below to make sure that you're buying quality materials, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's not about like if it's made in the USA or if it's made in China or if it's made in like whatever, okay? Go to your local brick and mortar store. Just because it's a clone doesn't mean that it's bad. Go ahead and play around with the threading. See if the threading is smooth. If it's bad, then by all means move on to like another product. But if it's still pretty decent, right? The store owner can confirm the pins are silver, the pins are copper, blah blah blah, things like that, then you know you're buying something that you're going to be happy with, and that's the way to properly shop for something, not according to blah 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 whatever guy who has a lot of videos and oh this guy is one of the hardest hitting mods up. Don't go by that, okay? Because even he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. All right, take care, guys.